Hey guys, in this video, we're going to be learning an effective method to solve conditional probability questions. I'll be solving about 4 questions from exercise 13.3 of class 12 CBSE class 12 textbook, which is the NCERT textbook. All of these are conditional probability questions. See, conditional probability questions, typically we get a lot of confusion in our mind. Is it P of A given B, or is it P of B given A, or are we computing P of B alone? What is what? These notations always come in the way of us understanding and solving the question effectively. So let's not start with notation. The method I'm going to teach you entails 2 steps. The first step is we are going to draw a tree diagram and understand how to decode the question and arrive at the answer. It will take all of 1 minute for any difficult question. Pick the most difficult question with a tree diagram, you will get the answer in 1 minute. Obviously, if you draw the tree diagram and write the answer, you are probably not going to be given full marks in the board examination. So what we'll do is, we'll have to plug in the notations. We need to say it's P of A given B or P of B given A. We'll have to say what it is. So let's plug in the notation after arriving at the answer. And then I'll walk you through the steps that you need to write to finally arrive at the answer using Bayes' theorem. So this is what we are going to be doing. Every single question, my suggestion is, follow the tree diagram, get the answer in a minute, then slowly plug in stepwise. We're going to take stepwise plugging in the notation and arriving at the answer. So 1 minute to actually see the answer, and 2.5 minutes to write it in a way that's going to get you the marks, right? Let's start with this one. This is an easy question. We're going to look at even questions which are amped versions of this, right? More difficult versions of this in the same exercise. An urn contains 5 red and 5 black balls. A ball is drawn at random, its color is noted and is returned to the urn, right? We're taking a ball, seeing what the color is, black or red, we're putting it back. So at the end of this exercise, we'll still have 5 black, 5 red balls in the urn. Moreover, 2 additional balls of the same color drawn or put in the urn, and then a ball is drawn at random. So I checked out what the ball was. If the first ball ended up being black, what I'll do is I'll add +2 black. If the first ball ended up being red, I'll add +2 red. That's what they're saying. Look at the color of the ball, add 2 additional balls of the color drawn, and then draw a second ball. What is to be found out is, what is the probability that the second ball is red? So as I mentioned, we're going to solve this question by depicting this entire story in a tree diagram. Right? This is how the diagram is going to look. Draw 1, we do not know what it is. Draw 1 could either end up being a red ball or could end up being a black ball. After doing this draw, I look at what ball it is. I'm going to add 2 more balls of the same color, and I'm going to do a second draw, right? Let's fill in all the numbers later. What is the probability that in this scenario, in this branch, the second ball is a red, and we could have got a red ball for the first ball turning out to be a black, right? So we need a red ball in the second draw, right? What is the probability of getting the second ball as a red ball is what the question is. So draw 1 could have been red or black. For the draw 1 being a red, we are going to get a red in the second draw. For the draw 1 being a black, we are going to get a red one in the second draw. What is the probability of this happening is what this question is. Let's now start plugging in numbers, get the answer, and then go to the denotation part, right? The first draw being a red, what is the probability? We have 5 red, 5 black, so 5 on 10, 1 by 2 is the probability of drawing the first ball as a red ball. Now that the first ball is a red one, we'll finish this branch, then let's go there, right? I'm going to add 2 more red balls because it's a red ball. So how many balls will be there in the urn? We're going to have a total of 12 balls, of which 7 are going to be red and 5 are going to be black. Because this ended up being a red ball, we're adding 2 more red balls. Now the second one, now we're going to draw. How many balls are there in the urn? We have 12 balls in the urn. How many of these are red? 7. So the probability that the second ball is a red now is going to be 7 upon 12. When is this 7 upon 12? Provided the first ball for you ended up being a red ball. Let's look at this branch right now. What's the probability of drawing the first ball as a black ball? 5 on 10, which is again equal to 1 by 2. Now that this ball is a black ball, what color ball are the next 2 balls? We're going to add 2 black balls to it. So the urn is going to contain 12 balls, of which 7 are going to be black and 5 are going to be red. What is the probability the second ball is red? Now we have again 12 balls, of which 5 are red. The probability that the second one is a red is 5 upon 12. Of these 12, 5 are red, so 5 upon 12. So 5 upon 12 is the probability that the second ball is red, provided the first one is a black. Now we could have got a red ball through this branch, or we could have got a red ball through this branch. Now I'm going to tell you something, keep this in mind, this will work for all probability questions. When you make sentences, if you use the word and, then multiply. If you use the word or, add, right? We'll complete the question. We are still in the tree diagram. We'll come to the denotation in the next slide. So I draw the first one as a red and the second one ends as a red. This branch, the probability is the first ball is a red, the probability is half, and then the probability that the second one is also a red is 7 upon 12 provided this one is a red. So half into 7 by 12 is the probability of drawing the first and second as red. So that way we could have got a red, or we could have got a red by the first one being a black, red, red, first one being a black and the second one being a red. These are all the ways in which we could have got the second ball as a red ball. This combination is going to finally give us the answer. This is 7 upon 24 plus 5 upon 24, which is equal to 12 upon 24, and the answer is equal to 1 by 2. Right? This is a sure shot way of getting the answer. I'm going to walk you through building this tree diagram again. The first draw could be red or black. Right? Don't worry about the numbers. It could have been a 7 ball red and 12 ball black to start with. So we are not going to write it as half and half. We'll plug these numbers later. The first one ended up being a red. The second one also could have ended up being a red. The first one could have ended up being a black. The second one could have ended up being a red. Now we are going to write the numbers. The first draw we had equal number of red and black. So 1 by 2 is the probability of getting a red. 1 by 2 is the probability of getting a black. Now the first one ended up being a red. We're going to add 2 more red, which means we'll have a total of 7 red and 5 black. So probability that the second ball is a red now is out of the 12, 7 are red. So 7 by 12 is the probability that this one is a red. Correspondingly here, we have only 5 red because the first ball ended up being a black. We would have added 2 black balls. So 5 upon 12 is the probability that the second one is a red. So the second ball being a red could have been when the first is a red and the second is a red, or first is a black and the second is a red. So whenever you say and, first is a red and the second is a red, or first is a red and the second is a black, right? Use this and or to work for you, right? The final answer is 1 by 2. Obviously, this is getting the answer. This is not the way you're going to get marks. We'll now plug in the denotations, right? This is the tree diagram that we had. I'm going to throw in the numbers first and then I'll plug in the denotations, right? 7 upon 12. This is 5 upon 12. This is still not the end of the road. I'm going to walk you through the steps in a subsequent slide. I'll call it as the first ball being a red is P of R1. P of R1, the first ball is a red, is half. Here the first ball is a black, I'll call it as P of B1, right? We'll write these in the next slide. So we're telling the examiner what we mean by those. The 7 by 12, look at it. It is the second ball being a red, given the fact that the first ball is a red, right? Now writing the denotation becomes easier, right? The denotation for this is the second ball is a red, given that the first ball is a red. That is equal to 7 upon 12. Here, the second ball is a red, given the first ball is a black. So this is P of R2. The second ball is a red, given the first ball is a black. Now, we need to find out P of R. What is the probability of getting a red ball, right? That is what P of R2 is what we need to find out. We know P of R2 given R1. We know P of R2 given B1. So P of R2 is equal to P of R1 times P of R2 given R1, right? Probability that the first one is a red times the probability that the second one is a red given the first one is a red, plus P of the first one is a black times P of R2 given B1, right? This is what is going to give you the marks, right? P of R1 times P of R2 given R1 plus P of B1, whatever we multiplied and wrote there, we are now using it in terms of denotation, times P of R2 given B1. Plug in the values, the same thing, we know the values, half 7 by 12, half 5 by 12. The answer is going to be equal to 1 by 2, right? Now, I'll take you to this slide where you're going to be using the steps. First step, they're going to say, draw this diagram in your side, right hand side of your question answer paper. So, you know, that's your rough work, right? If the examiner sees it, a lot of these teachers know this is a good way to approach it, they might even give you marks for it, but let's be absolutely sure that they're using Bayes theorem, right? Probability that the first draw is red, we're giving it a denotation called P of R1, that is equal to half. The second denotation that we're going to give is that the probability the second draw is red, given the first one is red, that is P of R2 given R1, we know that is equal to a 7 by 12, right? Third one, we're going to say the first draw is a black, that's P of B1, that is equal to a half. And then P of R2 given B1, the second draw is red, given the first one is black, my bad, right? This should be black. This is P of R2 given B1, that is equal to a 5 by 2, 12. And then I'm going to write the steps here. So you'll say P of R2 is the same formula that we wrote. P of R2 is equal to P of R1, P of R1 times P of R2 given R1. P of R2 given the second ball is red, given the first one is a red, plus the probability the first ball is a black times P of R2 given B1, and then write the values, right? This is half times 7 by 12 plus half times 5 by 12 is equal to a 1 by 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 steps you get. Probably this is a 3-mark question, you'll get full marks for this, right? So I'm going to walk you through a few more questions. Each of those questions we're going to be drawing this tree diagram. Arrive at the answer the way we did, and then let's write these denotations, get the answer, and I'll show it to you what you should be doing in the examination to get the marks in all of these, right? Hope this method really helped you. Suggestion is, we're done question number 1. Don't wait for my videos to come. I think there are about 14 questions in this particular chapter. Try out the rest of the questions, see how you manage to get it using the tree diagram. If you get stuck with something, give us a shout in this description, in the comment section. Say that I want solution to this particular question. I'm not able to get it using the tree diagram. We'll post the solution on YouTube with this, right? Follow us on Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter at Maxtute Pro. That is our handle on any of these things, right? Maxtute Pro. Especially on Pinterest, we are posting a lot of important formulae that will be useful for you to quickly recap the day before the revision exam, the day before the board examination, right? So follow us on Pinterest, in.pinterest.com/maxtutepro, right? Subscribe to this channel, right? This is youtube.com/maxtute. Turn on notifications. Every time I add a video, you're going to get a notification for it. Best wishes for your CBSE board examination. Do very well.